This is a mysterious deck of cards. Anyone who holds one gains a special ability. The man just places his hand on someone's arm, and the person's hand instantly shatters into marbles. There are 52 cards in this special deck, each with a unique power. Naturally, these cards became the target of every powerful faction. During one intense battle for the cards, all 52 cards were scattered across the world. Our hero Jack is an orphan. He survives using his top-notch thieving skills. First, he tosses a bottle into a trash can, distracting a passerby. Then he pulls a sausage from his pocket, letting a small dog bite the man's leg. Jack seizes the moment to grab a drink, and casually snatches the man's watch. He chases after the dog, and along the way steals 2 more phones. Back at the orphanage, Jack hears troubling news. Funding is tight, and if nothing changes the kids could end up homeless. To raise money, he first goes to a pawn shop, but the owner instantly recognizes the items as stolen, and even the expensive gold watch is fake. With no other choice, Jack heads to a casino to try his luck. At first he wins a lot of chips, but then a mysterious older man shows up, and no matter how good Jack's hand is he can't win. Whenever the man claps his hands, the cards shift instantly, and all of Jack's chips are taken. The casino staff notice this and invite them both into a private room. The next moment, a red-haired man pulls out a card, and it instantly transforms into a glove. Only then does the owner realize this man isn't one of his henchmen. The red-haired man grabs the owner's arm, and it instantly turns into marbles. The older man is stunned, even though he holds the lucky 10 of diamonds card, which should make him untouchable. The red-haired man threatens his family, and he has no choice but to surrender the card. Just as the red-haired man takes the card, another man bursts in, demanding the card while firing a gun. The red-haired man dodges the bullets, strikes his card's power. The man in red clearly overpowers the red-haired man, and knocks him down in an instant. Jack realizes the importance of the cards. He pretends to trip, and sneaks the 10 of diamonds from the red-haired man. He believes that with this card, he can save the orphanage kids. While escaping the casino, Jack grabs the doorman's car keys and drives off immediately. But soon the red-haired man catches up, hurling marbles that nearly hit Jack. Then the man in red joins the chase, and the 3 cars collide head-on. After the explosion, Jack emerges from the flames. The man in red dragging a broken leg approaches him, demanding the card. Suddenly he is struck down by a marble. The red-haired man is still alive. With no escape, Jack pulls out his own card. Just as he finishes dealing with the red-haired man, a familiar voice comes from behind. The man in red hasn't died, and even his injuries have fully healed. The man's neck got snapped with a single punch, but the very next second, he stood right back up. There are exactly 52 of them in the entire world. Anyone chosen by a card gets a superpower. Because of that, everyone is going insane trying to get their hands on them. And our main character Finn gets dragged right into the middle of this war. While he's facing off against the man in red, a car suddenly comes flying out of nowhere. The next second, vines burst out from inside the car and wrap around Finn completely. When he comes to, he's already in some unfamiliar room. There's a cup of coffee sitting on the table. But what really makes Finn's skin crawl, these people already know everything about him. They even know exactly how many moles are on his butt. And the man in red, Chris, is actually a member of this group. What's even more insane, he's holding Finn's 2 of spades. The moment Finn tries to grab it back, Chris presses a gun straight to his throat. The tension in the room goes ice cold. But just then, a phone call comes in. Orders from the top. After hanging up, the old man lays out the truth to Finn. There are 52 cards total. Each one has a different ability. Right now these cards are scattered all across the world, and their mission is to collect every single one. As for Finn, the old man wants him to join the organization, because the marble guy Finn took out earlier was actually a mafia member. That group is one of the enemy factions going after the cards. Finn could get targeted by them at any moment, so he doesn't really have a choice.
ちなみに給料いくら？最初は見習いですので。あんたの話、乗ったぜ!
Once he agrees, the old man hands Finn straight off to Chris. First stop getting custom suits made. While getting measured, Finn can't help but ask about Chris's card ability. Chris doesn't hold back. His 5 of hearts can heal any injury, but every time he activates it, it burns calories, so he has to eat high-calorie food constantly. After that, Chris takes Finn straight to a restaurant. They're barely there when they spot a huge guy bullying a scrawny employee. Finn steps in immediately to stop it. The guy swings back with a punch. But once it's all over, the employee keeps thanking them both. Finn turns around, and Chris is already hitting on some girl. First thing the next morning, Chris forces Finn awake. An urgent mission just came in. Once they're in the car, Finn suddenly notices a woman's earring sitting inside. The same girl from yesterday. Then, following the coordinates their teammate sent, they go full throttle chasing down the target. Even the police cruisers clear the road for them. Both of them activate their card abilities at the same time. Just as they're about to close in, a massive guy leaps from the vehicle ahead and crashes down onto their roof. Finn recognizes him instantly. It's the employee who got bullied yesterday, but there's no time to think. He opens fire rapid shots. Every bullet hits the guy, and every single one bounces off. The guy winds up for a punch, and Chris slams the brakes. Using the momentum, he sends the man flying, and now he's figured out the ability. 3 of Hearts, the power to turn his body to steel. But the next second, Finn charges straight at him, unloading bullets like crazy. Still not a scratch. The moment Finn stops to reload, the steel man explodes forward. Right at the critical moment, Chris guns the engine and slams the car straight into him, but the guy grabs Chris by the throat and won't let go. Chris doesn't flinch, he floors the gas, and drives them both straight into the river. The steel body is too heavy, the guy can't breathe, the card ability releases, but the problem is, the car door is completely jammed. Chris can't get out either. On the other side, Finn takes a sharp breath. The next second, his vision cuts straight through the water. Meanwhile, the armored truck gets successfully intercepted by the team. After digging into it, they find out the steel man was actually just a victim. He started out as a regular honest guy, until someone scammed him out of everything he had. After getting a card, he got pulled in by criminals to work as muscle. And after this whole fight, Chris acknowledges Finn's skills, but the rest of the team can't believe it, because the card Finn is holding is just a 2 of spades.
2はカードの中でも一番格下。つまりお前は最弱。
This is a mysterious card. It can grant people supernatural powers. Anyone chosen by it will have their life completely changed. And the 7 of diamonds in this man's hands has the most insane ability of all. As long as you have money, you can turn it into anything of equal value. Not long ago, Finn had just put on his suit and was going crazy admiring himself in the mirror. Then the next second, a kidnapping suddenly went down right beside him. Before he could even react, the kidnappers had already sped off in a car. Finn immediately locked onto a nearby e-bike and took off after them. But here's the weird part. The kidnapped boy was completely calm. The kidnappers on the other hand were sweating bullets, until the kidnappers finally settled down. They were ready to demand a ransom. But right then Finn came flying in on that e-bike. He raised his hand and fired a single shot, blowing out the tire on the spot. The car instantly spun out and stopped. By the time the kidnappers came to their senses, there was no one left inside, because Finn had already taken the boy to a nearby cafe. He thought the boy would thank him. Instead, the boy wasn't grateful at all. He actually called Finn a busybody. While the two were arguing, those same 2 kidnappers showed up again. And Finn was already fuming, just looking for someone to take it out on. But once he heard them out, it turned out these 2 were just ordinary guys running a small company. A major client had suddenly pulled out of a deal, and the company was on the verge of going under. And that major client was none other than Leo's father. But Leo didn't care at all. In his eyes, the weak getting eliminated was just how the game worked. Seeing the 2 kidnappers losing it, Finn rushed in to stop them, but they weren't hearing any of it. The next second, all 3 of them were brawling. It wasn't until the cops showed up that they were all hauled back to the station. Once they got to the station, Finn wouldn't stop complaining. Leo finally got tired of listening and just got up and walked out. And what's even more wild, the officer didn't stop him at all. Finn was stunned, so he quietly slipped out behind him. Turns out the station already knew who they were, so they let them walk without a word. Meanwhile, back in the holding cell, the thick iron door was suddenly cut clean open by someone. On the other side, Finn and Leo boarded the subway. Having never ridden one before, Leo was taking in everything like it was brand new. But right then, Nyx suddenly showed up with her crew on their tail. She was there to get payback for her people. The next second, Nyx pulled out her card. To keep the other passengers safe, the 2 had no choice but to stand down. Before long, they were taken to an abandoned factory. Watching the 3 of them bow down in devotion, Finn honestly wondered if they had lost their minds. But right at that moment, he quietly slipped out of his handcuffs. When Nyx moved to make her move, Finn instantly drew his card, then raised his revolver, and aimed at the scrap iron hooks overhead. A massive pile of scrap came crashing down, pinning both of her guys underneath. But then something even scarier happened. The bullets Finn fired had absolutely no effect on Nyx. They didn't even get close. Her flames melted them before they could reach her. The next second, Nyx went wild, unleashing fireballs. Before long, Finn was completely surrounded by a wall of fire.
肉も骨も燃やしてやる
Turns out Chris had shown up this time, specifically to deliver money to Leo, and inside that briefcase was exactly $1 million. Then Leo reached into his jacket and pulled out a 7 of diamonds. It was only then that Finn realized Leo was actually a member of the organization too. And his 7 of diamonds ability could turn any money on him into anything of equal value. Leo then threw the $1 million straight into the air. The next second, the cash transformed into a massive handheld cannon. After the card was successfully recovered, Finn finally learned Leo's true identity. Not only was he a member of the organization, he was also the manager of the organization's covered business, a car dealership.
Finn, Chris. 報告は受けていたが、火薬庫に突っ込みたがるその性格はいただけないな。
This is no ordinary playing card. Every time its ability activates and transforms into a glove, the user gains a special superpower. But the woman's Ace of Spades is on a whole other level. It transforms into a cursed blade. There's just one absolute rule, and that is, never draw it from its sheath, because the moment it's drawn, the cursed blade will devour the user's mind. The woman's name is Wendy. She's a member of Finn's squad, but she drinks way too much and always shows up late. Her relationships with her teammates aren't great either. One day, the organization receives a new mission, but Wendy is ordered to stay behind. That does not sit well with her. She's part of the team too. Just then, the front desk phone suddenly rings, but on the other end of the line, all they hear are horrifying screams. Turns out a group of armed robbers is hitting a bank, and Chris gets caught right in the middle of it. He takes out one of the criminals, but to protect the fleeing hostages, Chris takes a bullet. The robbers trying to escape forcibly take a hostage with them. But all of this was actually part of Chris's plan all along. His goal was to use the situation to gather intel. Wendy, however, insists on joining the fight. Even knowing the organization fears her power, she refuses to rely on anyone else. Meanwhile, Chris successfully catches up to the target vehicle and forces them into a sealed-off street. Just as the robbers think they've shaken their tail, vines come bursting out of nowhere and instantly cut off every escape route. The one who made the move is VJ, the holder of the 3 of clubs. The robbers try to throw it in reverse and run, but another car blocks them from behind. It's Wendy.
プレイ
But right at that moment, a robber grabs a hostage and threatens Wendy to drop her weapon. VJ seizes the opening and successfully rescues the hostage. But just then, a robber behind him launches a sneak attack. Luckily, Wendy reacts lightning fast and takes the attacker down. That's when she notices the robber looks exactly like the hostage. A second later, VJ gets blindsided. Turns out, the enemy holds the 4 of hearts, the ability to create clones. Sure, these clones pose no real threat to Wendy, but the longer this drags out, the worse things will get. At that moment, Wendy suddenly recalls a memory from her childhood. Whenever she laid eyes on that card, she felt herself getting pulled in by its power. Only by taking the card away could she come back to her senses. That's why her father's words have always stayed with her. Only by making herself strong enough would she avoid becoming a puppet of that power. With that thought in mind, Wendy finally draws the cursed blade. In an instant, a terrifying bloodlust sweeps over the entire scene. Wendy looks like a completely different person. The robbers' clones are slashed apart in seconds. Faced with that kind of overwhelming force, the robbers completely break down and have no choice but to surrender.
じゃあ生ゴミは廃棄お待たせ久しぶり 私ずっと植物女教のことばっかり考えてたのよ。
But to keep Wendy from losing herself entirely, VJ has to stall for time. The next second, something massive drops from the sky and seals Wendy inside it. It's Leo using his superpower. He brought in the most impenetrable vault in the world. But a second later, the vault is cleaved clean in two.
あー僕ち久しぶり。
Fortunately, VJ quickly weaves a massive net out of vines and pulls them both to safety. At the same time, Chris and Finn finally arrive on the scene. The moment Wendy spots Chris, she charges straight at him and unleashes a relentless assault. Since Chris has an immortal body, Wendy holds absolutely nothing back, and Chris uses that very moment to successfully take control of the cursed blade. By the time Wendy comes back to her senses, Finn's attack has already been unleashed.
そんな下手だな。
そいつを離せば元に戻るんだろ。
でも次までにもっと肉付きよくしてね。美味しそうな太ももしてるから。
This is a mysterious card. Whoever holds it gains a superpower. Finn's two of spades can transform into a revolver, but facing a mysterious woman, the gun is completely useless. With just a flick of her fingers, he loses control and aims the revolver at the female detective. Turns out a previous bank robbery caught the detective's attention when Chris appeared on the surveillance footage. Not only were all related reports deleted, her boss told her to drop the case, but the detective had no intention of letting it go. Through interrogating a clone she'd found earlier, she uncovered a critical lead. Over the next few days, the detective kept a close eye on Finn's crew, but after days of watching, she found nothing suspicious. Still, she refused to give up. That night, she deliberately acted suspicious and lured Finn into a secluded alley. Using her authority, she placed him under arrest. Meanwhile, the detective's boss was invited to a dinner party. The room was packed with high-profile guests from all walks of life. The host of the evening was the most powerful mob family in the area, the Klondike family. The man threw the party for one reason: to deal with a traitor. The man brought forward was the same clone the detective had interrogated. He was about to be executed in front of everyone. The man lightly touched his head, and his neck instantly snapped 180 degrees. His body convulsed, then he dropped instantly. The entire room was stunned. Meanwhile, the detective was driving Finn back to the station. Suddenly a truck came barreling toward them and slammed their car off the road. Fortunately, neither of them was seriously hurt, but in the next second, the truck lifted off the ground and came crashing down on them. In the nick of time, they both managed to escape. Before they could even catch their breath, a strange figure appeared in the distance, also a card holder. Despite Finn's warning, the woman didn't back down at all. Finn opened fire, immediately firing multiple shots, but the woman blocked every single one. The next second, Finn's hand suddenly went out of control. Then with just a slight gesture, the woman wrapped her grip around the female detective's throat. Then came another strange hand movement, and Finn was instantly taken over. Gun pointed directly at the detective's head.